Hey, what? I just turned that on. What's going on here? Oh, there's a gap. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Leicester City watch along. Hope you're doing fantastically well. I was doing well, but the sidebar is doing my head in and I can't get something else to work as well. I mean, it's just really annoying. Every bloody... Look at it, it keeps moving. I don't like this. I do not like this at all. I do like this game, though. Dorgu starts for Manchester United. Very, very excited about that. And hopefully... hopefully we're going to see some balance on the left-hand side for the first time since sliced bread. It will be great to see. I'll be very, very excited to see a bit of balance on the left-hand side. Let's get you this Manchester United side up. So, where is it? Let's take and pause. There we go. That's it. So, obviously, we know there's no Martinez. I'm quite happy with this team. I've got to say, I'm quite happy with this team. No Vardy for Leicester. Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about Manchester United. No Obi Martin on the bench, but Heaven is there. So that's your Man United lineup. As we know, there is no Martinez. He can't play. He's going to be out for a long time, unfortunately. But Yoro comes in. No De Ligt. Don't know what that's all about. Has De Ligt got some sort of injury? Not heard any updates on that, but yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? I don't know why De Ligt wouldn't be used in a game that we need to win when we haven't got Martinez, but he isn't. He's on the bench. Dorgu off the left, Delo off the right. Personally at home, I would like to see Ahmad, but I just want to plant this seed actually, and I've said it before, and fair play for those people who've heard me say it before. I'm going to plant this seed. Manchester United, Delo, right wing back. Amorim just loves Delo. Because I wouldn't pick Delo tonight. I would not be picking Delo tonight. He would be out of my team. He'd be sat on the bench where he should have been for the last 2 months. And it would be Ahmad on the right. And it would be Garnacho in behind or Mainu in behind. We've seen the stats. 66% of our wins have come when we put a winger on the wide. We only have a 33% win percentage when we play two fullbacks. Now, Dorgu's going to give us balance, but I don't know why Delo is playing on the right-hand side. But apart from the fact that I think Amorim really does appreciate and like him, and I've said that before. Mainu and Ugarte in the midfield, or is it? I don't know whether it's Bruno and Ugarte or Mainu and Ugarte. But Mainu and Ahmad behind Rasmus, I quite like. I think if we had two Ahmads, you'd put one on the wing and one in behind. I think there's a bit of rotation in this team because I don't think Garnacho necessarily deserves to be dropped. De Ligt's not there, and Xerxes not there as well. So I think there's probably a little bit of rotation, although it's a massively important game for Manchester United tonight. We've got to win this game. It's funny, you know, this is my first live show since yesterday morning, which is a long time for me. And I was away last night and I was talking to a few people in the bar and stuff about Man United. And one of the things they're not United fans that I'm talking to. And one of the things I feel that I'm repeating a lot at the moment is that look at the volume of games we've lost at home in the last few weeks. Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace. I mean, these are not Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City, you know, Chelsea. These are teams that are beating us at home, and that has got to stop. And I'm not saying it's going to stop tonight necessarily. I'm not saying if we stop it tonight, it stops forever. But we do need to stop it. The bench looks like this: Casemiro, Collier, Eriksen, Garnacho, Grasic, Heaven, Lindelof, Xerxes, and De Ligt. As I say, I think De Ligt, Xerxes, and Garnacho would probably be considered rotational. I think they would still be considered first-team players. But it's a great opportunity for Rasmus tonight. Whether he can grab it or not, I thought he was better in his last game, but still not great. So I think it's a big opportunity. I don't read too much into that as to if it was a league game. I think he'd probably start Xerxes. I think our next game is Spurs in the league, isn't it, actually? So, yeah, I think It'd be interesting to see if we can get any service. But without a shadow of a doubt, the most exciting element of this game tonight is the fact that we've got Dorgu playing off the left-hand side. Now, my belief, and I don't know what yours is that even if you had Reguilon playing at left wing-back, you would see a massive improvement. I think Dorgu could end up being the best left-back in the world. But even if he doesn't, even if he's just Brentford's left-back, it will still be a massive improvement. I think he walks into what I'm trying to say is, I think he's walking into a win-win situation because we haven't had a left-back for basically 18 months. So as long as you're an half-decent left-back, you're going to look like prime Roberto Carlos in this team. It's going to be balance, energy, and a left foot. It's going to look, I expect at full-time tonight, people are going to be going, we've got the world's best left-back because we haven't had a left-back. I mean, even Malacia, when he came on, just at times, the balance looked good, even though he wasn't particularly good. So I think this is going to be exciting to see tonight because I think that he's clearly a talented player, but we haven't had a left-back for so long. I'm expecting to... Look, what I really want to see is a high-energy, up-and-down, left-footed, wide player who puts crosses in the box, joins the attack, and I think it will be such an improvement. I mean, it's not going to put us in the top 4, but it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal that Ineos, the Glazers, Wilcox, Barada, whoever, last summer, last January, didn't bother doing anything for something that's been absolutely crucial. But on the other hand, and on the other side, we need to see this from Dalot as well. I don't like 2 fullbacks in this system. I think it makes us defensive. So Dalot needs to be playing like a winger today, and he's playing on his natural side. So maybe today will be the day that we start to see the Dalot that we've seen. I think many of us agree that we've lost recently. There is a good player in Dalot, and we just haven't seen it recently. So maybe today is going to be the day where we see that. In fact, Shaunuk with a super chat says, I want to see if Dalot steps up now that he's back on the right side. If he does not, he's probably done. Hoping Onana does not do anything crazy today. I mean, why is Onana in goal? Bienda's got a knock, hasn't he? Because he's not on the bench. That's a great point. I'd never even thought about that. But yeah, there must be a knock to Bienda. Slight knock. Yeah, he's not even on the bench, so otherwise he would have started. Hope Bruno keeps it simple. Let Mainu and Ahmad play in front. Looking forward to Dorgu playing. Think Rasmus starts as Leicester have got a slow defence, as Scott Page. I think that Rasmus brings something different to Xerxes. Rasmus is quicker and more willing to run the channels, whereas Xerxes is better for the hold-up. So maybe at home, we're going to say wide players get forward, put crosses in the box. Let's see what happens. But service is the key. Whether you're Xerxes or Rasmus, service will be the key. But I think there's a great point been made about Bruno there. And I actually, I'm going to whack this out on my notes. That, well, there's 2 things I've got, really. Bruno, which I'll speak about in a minute, and left back. These are 2 things I want to talk about in the match reaction. We used to do this a lot, but we've been so shit for so long, it's hard to do it. But I wanted to just have a couple of analytical points to talk about after the game. And I used to have 4 or 5 if anybody's been watching for a few years. But I want to see the difference a left-footed left-back has, or a left wing-back, or whatever you want to call it. I also want to see discipline from Bruno. I'm absolutely convinced that Agate is suffering playing next to Bruno. I don't think Agate has been as good as he has been in recent weeks since Bruno's gone next to him. I haven't heard anybody say this because he's not British and people don't analyse in the mainstream, but Agate was getting lots of plaudits and he was getting really good scores in the player ratings, and over the last few weeks he has dropped off a little bit, and I think that's because he's overrun. I think he's doing the job of 2 people, because I don't think Bruno has got the discipline to play that role. He doesn't hold his ground, he doesn't communicate, and he's all over the place. So I want to see a disciplined Bruno Fernandes performance, because it is increasingly hard for Agate to do what he was doing a few weeks ago. And it seems to coincide with Bruno. And if he's going to play in that position, then he needs to have some discipline, especially, like you say, when you've got Mainu and Ahmad ahead of you. Onana is a bozo, and I don't trust him, says Olmo. Okay. Dorgu's dad says, Patrick's ready. It's been a whirlwind few days for him, but this is where he belongs, and he will give his heart and soul for the fans. Imagine if it was Dorgu's dad. Thank you very much for your super chat. Harry935 has just gifted a membership, by the way. Andrew Masson and Nicholas Rush welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. Remember, you can do your super chats through the $sign. We'll read those out. And if you want to get a badge in, join the Members Club. Bruno's free kicks are like Pink Floyd, The Wall, says Punch Paint. And Mark, I think Amorim wants to practice this lineup with Dalot because next match is Tottenham and he needs to pick up results. Cheers, mate. United, says Alberto Sanchez. And Patrick Lynch. Hello, Patrick. How are you doing? He says, I hope we have some tempo and energy in the performance. I hope that Dalot is freed up by playing on the right and isn't afraid to attack, says Patrick Lynch. Look, Leicester aren't very good. We can dance around the mulberry bush. Or we can be honest. Dalot, I mean, Leicester are not very good. They've lost a lot of games. I think they've lost 7 of their last 8 Premier League games, and they're really, really struggling. We're struggling as well, but I would expect us to win this game. Our vulnerability at the moment looks like it's going to be the defence without Martinez. I think that is that's an area I would say as well to talk about. Who's going to play left-sided centre-back? Will it be Yoro? Will it be Maguire? But that's an area that we need to keep an eye out on as well. Joseph says, Heaven is left-footed. I never realised that. I think if we can get minutes and is further along than we think, we can help replace the void of Martinez. Look, he could be a transfer sent from Heaven if he can play left-footed centre-back and do it well. What I would say is I think he had 1 appearance for Arsenal. So suddenly this player that wasn't playing for Arsenal is now going to replace Martinez in a Man United starting team. It's a stretch. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but what I would say is when he gets his chance, I would do it in the context that he's a teenager here to grow. He's not here to replace Martinez. Martin, good point from Phil Cartwright in the chat. He's one of our members. He says left centre back will be Mazraoui 100%. That is a good call, actually. Very, very good call. 3-0 United. What are you drinking, Mark? I have a glass of red tonight. Friday night show is normally that's not great. That's not a good red. I don't know what it is. It's not a Malbec. It's a Christmas one. It's not a Christmas red wine. I got it for Christmas. I just opened it up. It'll get better with the taste, but I was drinking Malbec yesterday. I was away at a lovely spa hotel, actually, with Mrs. Goldbridge, and I was supping on some red wine last night, but just the one tonight. Hopefully Dorgu can create crosses for Rasmus, says Ben. How do you think Mazraoui and Dorgu will do today, says Ali? Well, I think that Mazraoui has shown his... what do you call it? Not manoeuvrability, adaptability. He's got a lot. He can play in a lot of positions. Mark, a 38-year-old Vardy fighting relegation has more goals than both of United's number 9s. We desperately need a striker, says Abraham. I disagree. We need service to the striker first. When I see service into our striker, I'll judge how desperately we need a striker. Look, we're still not creating chances for versatility. That's the word. Ruskin and Thurto, yes. Robert Taylor, thanks for being a member for 61 months. Tom Heaton and Binder are not available, says Lee. Ruben mentioned it today on MUTV. Let's hope Anana doesn't make any mistakes today. Thank you very much for your super chats there. I'm just going to have a quick look, actually, because there are some quotes coming in from manager Ruben Amorim, and this is what he's got to say. Casemiro makes me laugh. He really does. Casemiro is basically a cheerleader, isn't he? Every day, match day, puts a tweet out. And I just wonder if it's in his contract. You must put a tweet out every match day whilst you're a Manchester United player. But he's become the most expensive social media admin for Manchester United, hasn't he? It's sad, really, but he just can't get near a starting lineup, can he? Beth said you were drunk texting True, Gaffer. When? No, that's the first sip of wine I've had all day. I've literally just got back from football. Thank you, Swami, anyway. Cyber Spider, thank you. Hope you're doing well, mate. Says, what one should really fear is not a competent enemy, but an incompetent ally. Napoleon on Ineos and Sir Jim. And that was from Cyber Spider. The Jaw says, Kerbasi is only 18, not impossible for Heaven. There we go. 3-0 United. No, what I'm saying about Heaven is I know what certain elements of our fan base are like, and if he comes on and he's nervous and he makes a few mistakes, I just wonder if people would be, I don't want people to be. We've got to be patient. David, thank you very much. He's gone 3-0 United. I've gone 2-0 United tonight. I expect us to win. We need to win, And let me just remind you as well, the FA Cup and the Europa League are actually really, really important to us. Really important to us. If we're not in Europe next year, I think this club is staring into a very, very, very bad future. So they've all got tops on with Martinez on, which is nice of them. But yeah, I think that it's so important. Now, the Europa League will get us in to the Champions League if we win it. The FA Cup will get us into the Europa League. I would argue that our in order of priority, Premier League is third. What's the Premier League going to deliver for Manchester United? So I think Premier League, FA Cup, Europa League, they're the priorities in reverse order. So very important for us tonight. Yeah. Very important. Philip Nash, welcome to Members Club. And Michael says, hi Mark, I bought a pack of football cards today and got a special Hoyland card. Hopefully it's a sign, says Michael. And Nicholas Rush says, 2004 US Congress allows buying and owning sports teams as a write-off against owners' personal income. Glazers finished by buying United in 2005. Incentive to operate at a loss, says Nicholas. Thank you very much. I've just realised that's next to me. Our live show in Dublin is on March the 19th, smack in the middle of Dublin in Temple Bar. And you can get your tickets by scanning the QR code. We've sold about 70% of them already, so get on it if you're going to come over. It's the international break in March. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Can't wait. Get your tickets. I don't know what ITV were doing then, but I think they were talking about Marcus Rashford because I saw a picture of him. Is it a Marcus Rashford free zone on the United stand? Somebody said that today. No, I mean, we will still be talking about Marcus Rashford. He's still a Manchester United player. I thought it was quite interesting what Amorim said about his training not being good enough again. But then Emery has said that he's training well. I don't read anything into this. I've seen Marcus Rashford with my own eyes jogging and walking when he could have been running. So if he's doing that in training, there's a problem, and we don't know what that problem is. Now he's at Villa, he's got a point to prove. Surprise, surprise, it's the oldest cliche in the world. You know, somebody who's a shit girlfriend for you goes out with somebody else, and suddenly you're hearing rumours that they're doing everything that they'd never do with you. And I'm talking about like watching Saving Private Ryan, not what you're thinking about. But anyway, you have somebody who works with you, they're absolutely shit. They start up their own business and suddenly they work hard. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's the oldest cliche in the book. And I guarantee you Marcus Rashford is now training like he's never trained before because he wants to prove that Amorim and Man United were wrong. But we saw it with our own eyes. And I want Rashford to do well because I want his value to go up. But if he starts playing well at Villa, and you'll get all these people saying, oh, it was Amorim, it was Amorim's fault. Well, was it Ten Hag's fault as well? Or is it just that he's out to prove a point now? And he's realised that his brand is rock bottom. So his motivation is to prove Amorim wrong. And a footballer with a motivation becomes a better footballer, in my opinion. So, look, all the best to him, but we've got our own problems to solve. And I would love Marcus Rashford to do absolutely brilliant for Aston Villa, and we win the Europa League, and then we both win. We've got to focus on our own business. Mazraoui's been a great utility player, says Crossfire. Who do you think has been our best at in recent years? Phil Neville, John O'Shea, Wes Brown? John O'Shea was the ultimate utility player for me. Come on, United. Love the work you do, Mark, says Harry935. Thanks for your super chat, pal. And Ali says, if we lose this game, do you think Amorim's out? No. Philip Nash, thank you very much and welcome to the Members Club. 26,000 of you watching already. Fantastic. Dorgu is warming up as a right wing back. Well, if we put Delo as a left wing back and put Dorgu as a right wing back, I'll embrace the meltdown, which will be hilarious. It really, really will. One moment. She's all dressed up in a broken. It's not about you tonight, Robert. You're out of it. ESPN saying not changing formation will be Amorim's downfall. Crap coverage, says United. Mate, I may have been drunk last night when I was losing it on Twitter, but the mainstream's just terrible. It's absolutely rubbish. It's so bad. And how you can sit there with a straight face and say Amorim not changing his formation will be the end of him. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know whether you're into wrestling, but like if you think about Stone Cold Steve Austin, he used to have the Stone Cold Steve Austin stunner, didn't he? Imagine him changing his finishing move because he'd lost a few games. Oh, I'm just going to use the pedigree or the shot or the sweet chin music. Like this is what he's got. This is what this is who he is. And he's not got the players to do it yet. I think Dorgu could be the first player that starts to fit into an Amorim system. It's bedtime, says David Mills. What should I put my 365 bet on, says Farrell. I don't know what a parlay is. I need a little bit more detail. Turkey says gobble gobble. Keane nearly called out Rashford PR team live on TV, says Andy. Well, he should have done. He should have done. They're in the mud at the moment. Colin Bolger says Clayton Blackmore was the ultimate utility player. Thank you very much. And Swami says, if you don't take training seriously, you won't take the match seriously. Same goes for the gym. Body language does not lie, and we've seen it in matches. Thank you very much for that from Swami. United Stand and Paddy's Day in Dublin on the same week, says Matthew. Yeah, it's going to be good. Take your questions to Birmingham. Loved it when he said that, says Liking Trash. Goldbridge United, Guinness in the pub, says The Fiend. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Liking Trash. Yeah, appreciate those comments. Something I really wanted to say, I've completely forgotten. 2 Danish players in the starting lineup for Manchester United, of course. You got your man, Dorgu, making his debut, and you got Rasmus up front. So, it's double Dutch I was thinking about, isn't it? But look, hopefully we're going to get... At some point, we've got to turn a corner. That's what I was going to say. And I think that we've got... I believe what we've got in front of us is some fixtures that really lend themselves to hopefully starting to turn a corner. I mean, there is no definitive turning a corner for Manchester United, I don't know, but Tottenham away after this, Everton away after that, Ipswich at home. So there are 4 games in March. Surely we're going to start winning. But then again, I look at Tottenham away, I think that could be a loss. I look at Everton away, that could be a loss. So, but we've got to start turning a corner because the alternative is concerning. And although somebody ridiculously said in the chat, if we were to lose today, do you think that would be the end of Amorim? I don't think Man United really had the money to sack and replace Ten Hag. I really don't think we've got the money now, and I also think it would be the worst thing ever. So we really do need to turn it on. Needs to play his way to find out who can play it, says Jimbo. Thank you very much. Where have you been? Missed you, Mark, says Dale. I literally was away for a day. How do you think Dorgu will fare today, says Nick? I think anybody who's telling you how they're going to play is a liar, because it's really difficult to predict how it's going to go in a game like this for Dorgu. He's never played in the Premier League before. I've seen plenty of players play from the Italian league into this league and do well, and I've seen plenty not do well. So I think it's really important to remember that it's his first game in a Man United shirt, but also in the Premier League. But the great thing is, I think under Erik Ten Hag, whenever he made a new signing, it was, I mean, I like Ten Hag, you know I did, but he was very frustrating when it came to new signings, wasn't he? Like his obsession with not throwing them straight into the team very rarely. I mean, look at there's just so many players that we bought, and he took his time getting them into the team. And I did wonder whether Amorim would do that or not, and he hasn't. It's straight in, and I think he needed to go straight in. And we haven't had a starting left back really for 18 months. So, and he's been playing for Lecce. So why would you not throw him straight into the team? I think it's exciting. It's good for us. and it could be really, really the start of something. And I know we don't want to say that, but I think it could be. Here we go. Here. How do I do that? There we go. You should put your parlay on 2.5 goals and both teams to score and United to win, says Arton. Lucy Swan says, I'm excited to see Dorgu today. Also, is Robert real? The setup looks really good now, says Lucy. Thank you very much. Needs to play his way. If I've done that one, thank you very much. I think we should take the FA Cup very seriously, says Lawrence Danzo. I think you're absolutely spot on, mate. I really do. I think we've got to be looking to do that, because it's a pathway into Europe, and we've spent a lot of time over the last week sort of talking about the financials and how problematic it could be for Manchester United as the players walk out onto the pitch. 5 minutes to go till kickoff. Yeah, as I say, we've spoken a lot in recent times about how important this game is going to be because of the European aspect. We're also the holders of this tournament, let's not forget. You've got to take some pride in that. And look, you can dislike what Erik ten Hag did at Manchester United, and some people did, but I still think that FA Cup last year, I mean, however, how much do you get for being in the Europa League? And we're in the Europa League, so I think that I think it's very important indeed for Manchester United, and I think, as I say, it's up there with the FA Cup. Sorry, it's up there with the Premier League. Well, no, it's up there with the Europa League. It's massively important for us to win it. Sorry, I was just setting something up there. Do you think Heaven will get on? I think he's got a very good chance of coming on if we're winning, because there's not really a lot of games where you can start blooding players in now. Squirrel says, how far have we fallen? Very, very far. Very, very far. Things are not great at the club at the moment, and I feel that we are on thin ice, but the one positive I feel is that we have this manager that I really appreciate, and I want him to do well. What if Rasmus scores tonight? Well, I'd love it. I'd love it. I still believe. I know a lot of people don't, but I still believe. And I think whether you believe in Xerxes, whether you believe in Rasmus, I just don't believe either of the players can be judged at the moment, because whilst there may be aspects of both players' games that draw criticism, you might say Rasmus is not very good at this or he's not very good at that. But if he was getting 3 chances a game and was scoring one of them, you would ignore all that. If he started scoring a goal a game, then you would change your mind overnight. You'd be like, oh, I can live without that. But the problem is our strikers get exposed because they don't score goals, and they don't score goals because they don't get service. So, and it's been going on for years. So, look, I'm not going to run away with it, but I'm hopeful that this, having a left, like Lucy says, excited to see Dorgu today. Also, is Robert Real. I've done that one from Lucy, but I'm excited to see Dorgu playing as well, because I think if he can provide us some service from that left-hand side and give, more importantly, balance. Balance is the main thing. We've spoken about this so much as a community. You cannot not have a left-sided player for as long as we have, and it should be a return to something. I mean, well, they've got Delow left wing-back on ITV, which I just don't understand it. Why would you play inverted fullbacks? I don't know. Dorgu on the right. I'd need sporting people to tell me he did this. Maybe we've misread the room. World waking up to mainstream media telling us what they want to. Spin and nonsense is NC44. Sport is no different. Goldbridge been saying this for years. Well, I don't know about that. But, well, I do know about that, but I just think that I don't know whether. Look, we've seen it with the PGMOL. We've seen it with other things as well. Look at the way that land that Man United own was reported differently by Sky. So They do keep stuff from us, yeah. But we're up and running here. He did do it with Quenda. Yeah. Delo playing left wing back. Mad. I mean, I just can't stand Delo on the left-hand side, and I know it's really unfair to say this before a ball is kicked, but we haven't had a left back for 18 months, and we put him on the right. And Delo is so bad on the left-hand side. Look, hopefully it'll work. Hopefully it's going to work. Welcome everybody on TikTok, by the way. Tommy says he's so fast, Dorgu. He's just played a good pass there. Yoro's playing right-sided centre-back. Maguire down the middle, and Mazraoui is the left-sided centre-back as well. Do you like Friday night football, says Evan? I don't know whether I like Friday night football. Here's Rasmus. Good turn into Ahmad. And he's gone back for a foul. You've had it wrong since the start. He likes wing-backs to play channel balls, not crosses, so they need to be inverted, says Notorious. Mate, I'm not bothered about had it wrong. I've always said, like, he's coming in from Sporting, and nobody was really watching Sporting in great depth apart from Sporting fans, so it was always going to be a learning curve for us. And that is why I just said, maybe he wants to play inverted fullbacks. Maybe that's what he want to do, because he's finally got a left-footed left back, and he's put him on the right wing. So maybe that's what he wants to do. I know Dorgu played as a right winger for Lecce, but I'm not sure about this. Hope it works, says Andre. Ivan Beren has gifted 10 memberships as well. Casper said he did it with Quenda. Ivan says it's my birthday, so I'm going to send in some memberships, gifting celebration. Come on, United. Ivan, happy birthday. Hope you have a great one, and United get a win. Connor Head, welcome to the Members Club as well. Why is Dorgu on the right? Well, he can play off the right anyway. He was playing off the right sometimes for Lecce. I'll tell you what I like about Dorgu, though. Good balance. Physical, quick. And you can already see off his first 3 touches, he's really got that balance. Delo fucking loses the ball. I can't stand Delo as a left wing back. I've got to reset here. I just don't like him as a... The thing about Delo is, right, it's a bit like Nicholas Jackson up front for Chelsea or Havertz up front for Arsenal. There will be times where they do all right, but consistently they're not good enough for it. Delo has been playing at left back for United for about 5 years on and off, and he's always a fill-in. He never looks comfortable. So is that what we're going to do? We're just going to keep using a player at left wing back who isn't comfortable there? Because he always looks like somebody who's playing out of position. Which Leicester player should we watch out for, says W? I don't know. Razmeister says, bro, why is he on the right? What do you think about Bruno in the 8 and Mainu in the 10? I don't mind it against teams like Newcastle, but it could become a problem. I think he's got to be disciplined, Jude. We spoke about it before. Bruno's got to help Agate out in that position. He can't be indisciplined. Dorgu offers some much needed size, says Ash G. Quenda is left-footed. He likes inverted wing-back, says Helg. I wonder if he started him on the right so we can coach him through his debut. He's right next to the technical area, says Kian. At Sporting, both wing-backs were left-footed, says Rohil. I don't mind us using inverted fullbacks. I've got no problem with that. My problem is I don't think Delo is very good down the left-hand side. So if that's going to be us for the rest of the season with Delo playing there or forever, I'd be worried. Good interception by Agate. Needs to find a pass. Could have gone forward there and we lose possession. Fucking hell. You ignored 2 easy passes there. He's won it back, to be fair. Great play by Agate. Harold says, I thought Dorgu came, so Delo wasn't on the left. Dave Finch, thanks very much on TikTok for the follow. Ishmael as well, and Football is, and Michaela. Oh, here we go. Leicester on the attack. Good strong play by Yoro, and Dorgu puts out for a throw-in. So Alex says, do we still need a left back in the summer then? Well, the theory would be, if Luke Shaw got fit, Luke Shaw could still play left wing back and we'd put Dorgu on the right then. Tell you what, Agate's made some good tackles from the start. But 5 minutes gone already, and again, I thought we started off quite well against Palace, but here it's been that slow tempo start again, isn't it? The crowd will not be... The crowd that was simmering will have now become lukewarm. It's certainly not boiling. It's been a slow start again. That's just an aimless fucking long ball to Bruno, who's running out of position again. And this is what I mean. Look at Agate. He's all on his own. Here they are. Leicester. Good shot straight at Onana. Amorim maybe, but Delo on the left to showcase how bad he is to Ineos, as Drew Castle. I can't speak. I'm working while United is playing, says Desiree. We need to win this bloody game, you know. Do you think he's put him on the right because he and Ahmad may have had a good connection in training, says JDV. And Liam says, I hope you're well. I was wondering why Ahmad was never put on the left wing in the wing-back position. It makes sense now that he likes inverted. He must want inverted, or else he would put Ahmad on the left as well, says Mark. Look at Onana going long. Fucking hell. Here we go again. Onana whacking long balls. I just don't get it. I do not get it. Look, the reason I'm harsh on Onana is because he was bought to be a ball-playing goalkeeper. David De Gea could kick it long, and he was a better goalkeeper. Another long ball. Fucking nothing comes from it. No VAR tonight as well. Mark, why is Dorgu playing right wing back? Only at United, says Dan the man. And Agate, good tackles high up the pitch too. I like it, says David Mills. Any hint as to why Onana is in nets for the cup game, says Marco. Bienda's injured. United has drove us all to drink. Evening Mark, says Bounty Hunter. Phil can't figure out why Dorgu is on the right. Harry Maguire slows the play constantly. He's a slug, says Mario. And is it just me or everyone else feeling anxious, says John? I wasn't anxious, but I do feel a bit anxious now, to be honest. I don't think this start has been very good at all. I think Leicester are actually moving the ball around with quicker intensity. Maguire needs a good game tonight, Mario. I will say that, because he had a bad one against Palace, didn't he? I'd sort of written that out of my memory. A lot of people confused with why Dorgu's playing on the right. He did play right wing sometimes for Lecce and left back, but I don't mind him playing right wing back. I just can't stand Delo on the left. And this long diagonal, fucking hell, that's another one. That's 2 in 3 minutes. Long fucking diagonals. Why are we doing this? Why are we hitting long diagonals? Ollie did it. Fucking Ten Hag did it. And now Amorim's do it. Why do we hit long diagonals to Delo, who is shit on the left-hand side? I mean, who comes up with this idea? Let's hit long diagonals that don't make it to Delo, who won't do anything with it either. It's such a weird play. You know why we hit the diagonal to Delo? Because teams don't mark Delo because they think he's shit on the left-hand side. They're not worried about him, so they don't mark him. So we fall into the trap of trying to hit the ball to him. Here's Dorgu into Ahmad. Nice little 1-2. Lay it off, lay it off. No, easy ball. Agate. Keepers. Dead Zone says it's not the manager, it's the players. Well, I think the diagonal will not be coming from Amorim because I've seen it under so many different managers. That's why I said. The boys thinks they're playing football around us, as Alex said. It's incredible how often we do that, though. Bjorn says, 9 minutes in and all you do is complain. Mate, go somewhere else if you want positivity. When I see something to be positive about, I'll be positive. We're having a shit season. We're going to get our worst ever Premier League points total. If we don't get into Europe, things are going to get worse next season because we won't have any money. The players are playing the same shitty passes they were doing 5 years ago, and we're not seeing any progress. So if you're happy with it, that's absolutely fine. But I want to see more. Trucker Jeff says 2 words, Brandon Williams. Whatever happened to Brandon Williams? John Boy says, I literally can't help but laugh at how bad they are. We are shit. We are really shit in this first 10 minutes. The Fiend says, Delory needs to use his left foot. And why are the wing backs inverted to Lake on the Moon? Because obviously that's what he wants to do, but it's been a very flat start. I don't think anybody could deny that. I tell you what, I like Dorgu's left foot. I just wish it was on the left-hand side. Very well-balanced player. Composed. If Bruno gives structure to the team, he commands the long ball, says Andre Gomez. I don't think Bruno works in the midfield at all. Well played, Maguire. Foul on Ahmad. Time will always be saved dealing with the root cause of a problem rather than problems that arise from it. Our root cause, the Glazers, love the show, says Uncertainty Principle. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Cole Hollier says, I'm backing Amorim all the way, but the long balls, you would think Amorim could demand not to do it. Anyway, he's telling them to do it. I don't know. I don't know, because it was happening under other managers as well. Mark, would you advise Amorim to do? What would you advise Amorim to do? I don't know. I don't know. I just think ultimately the players aren't good enough at the moment as well. Do you think Højlund can be coached to be productive in this formation, says J.E.? I think if it was Xerxes up front, we wouldn't be playing any better, mate. This is not because of the striker. The build-up play is absolutely shit at the moment. Off topic, don't know if you spoke about it. Thoughts on players can now be punished for mocking celebrations? They can't, Joseph. It's a myth. Chance for Leicester to whip a cross in here. See what happens, because we're crap at these sort of things. That's a rubbish cross. They've still won the second ball, though. I see what Amorim's trying to do with Dorgu and Delo. They're supposed to be inverted wingers, not fullbacks, says King. Have you watched Ted Lasso? If you did... No, I've never watched it, actually. Needed to sign a right-footed wing-back, then, says Mark Holder. Jack Stewart says, we got rid of Wan-Bissaka and kept Delo when we had those as choices at right-back. Now Delo plays left-back after we sign a left-back. Weird, says Jack. Old Trafford, very quiet, says Dazza. And I don't blame it for being quiet, mate. They've not been entertained for a long time, and the football is shit. It's really hard. And I'm sure you've all been to plenty of games, whether it's football, NFL, whatever. It's really hard to sing and shout and be excited when what you're watching is shit. Well done, Agate, again. Probably been our best player so far, Agate. Broke up a lot of play. We're just finding it really hard against the low block again. Good play by Agate. Why the fullback's inverted? I think Amorim doesn't want crosses into the box, and I don't get it, says Jim. Surely the system will click at some point, says Martin. I don't know, mate. I don't see any sign of it. I mean, we're just passing the ball about here and we're not going anywhere. He's going to go long again. Fucking hell. What is the fucking point in... I don't get that. We pass the ball around the back, go to Onana, and he fucking blasts it. Is this the real Onana? Is this the guy who played in goal in the Champions League final and was passing it along the ground under pressure? I just can't fucking believe it. Every time he gets the ball, he just blasts it. That can't be tactical. We've got no pattern of advancing the ball. It's clueless, says Cole. We keep hitting long balls. Fucking hell. I can't... Mazraoui's just hit one as well. Is that all we've got? Try and hit the ball and hope Leicester slip or something? Like, you can't play football like this at this level. You can't hit it long and just hope. You've got Mainu, Bruno, Ahmad. Get the ball into their bloody feet. The fullbacks should be pushing on. I mean, I can't even see the fullbacks. Delo is so fucking deep. He may as well be... Look at where Delo is. Look at where Delo is. He's back level with Maguire. You can't be playing like that in this system. You've got to push your fucking fullbacks forward. We're playing scared at Old Trafford here. I'd recommend Lasso. I used to think it was cringe. Anyway, isn't one of your boys on that show? He used to be on the United Stand, says Kevin. I don't know because I don't watch the show. I don't know. The team is worse without Bruno, but tactically is a problem for Amorim. Will he need to make one of many, no doubt, tough decisions this summer? And Mark, so has Delo been playing in position on the left since Ruben arrived? If so, he's shit, says Liam. If he's been playing in position, if that's not been a stopgap and that's part of the plan, it is worrying. If Rude wins, will he be the first manager to win at Old Trafford in the same season from both dugouts, says Trucker Jeff? Interesting stat, probably. Here we go. Keep it in, mate. This has got to be a chance. Dorgu. Oh, corner. Yeah, tried to cut it back to Ahmad. Unlucky. Anana's been different since he got lobbed pre-season, says Ash G. No generals and no bloody confidence. That's the issue, says Scott Treacher. Dennis Irwin would have been perfect, says Mark Holder. Thank you very much, mate. Let's see what happens with the corner. Ahmad's on it. Going to put it right in on the goalkeeper. No, front post. Cleared away. Well done, Dorgu. Gets it into Mazraoui. Come on, move it a bit quicker. Remember, I said this a few weeks ago. Move the ball quicker. Like, faster passing. We're so lethargic on the ball. Like, I'd seriously be training them like one-touch football because we always want to take a touch. Look at how Leicester are moving the ball much quicker than we are. Louis, thanks for your super chat. Hitting it long because confidence is shot, says Bear Merchant. And AJ says, I've said that about Amorim came in. The players are scared to play at Old Trafford. They're not playing on instinct, but thinking about every pass. Absolutely spot on. We overthink every pass. And that's why it's so slow and lethargic. Even Leicester are moving it quicker than us. Krishna says, Mark, Anana long ball and long diagonals are from the manager as a compromise. Reason being, we're not capable of moving the ball up the pitch by playing quick passes and controlling the possession, which is probably true, Krishna, but it's very scary. Our wing-backs are getting pressed instantly when they get the ball. Watch Leicester's full-back, zero pressure, no intensity out of possession, says Jake. Dorgu on the right and Delo on the left. Idiotic from Amorim. Kills any chances of balance and width and crosses. Shoddy tactics, and we're going to lose, says the mystery man. And don't have midfields to receive the ball at pace from Anana, says Jimmy. Rafe says, the problem is there's never anyone to pass to. Well, I'm looking at this with Mazraoui. We can go side to side, but... I mean, Delo is so bad. He's just lost the ball. He's so bad. I feel bad for him because, as I say... Somebody said it in the chat and they're spot on. So Delo's not been playing out of position. He's actually playing in position. Good play by Rasmus. Gets it to Ahmad. Where's the overlap here? Good play, Ahmad. Into Mainu. That's better. See, we're moving it quicker there. That's good play. Mainu. This is better. This is better. He's given a free kick. Pass out at the back requires more than a goalkeeper. First touch is a luxury and players don't anticipate the passes, so no quick triangles, says Nitin. Thanks for the follow, Jaden on TikTok. Legend. Too slow. Ben says, United are playing like England under Southgate, all slow and rather not lose. Philip N. Bootman, Aidan, thank you very much for your follow, as well as Claire. Hope you're all doing well. Anthony, I am doing some FA Cup watch-alongs this weekend, by the way. Sunday evening at 5:30, Rashford, Villa against Spurs. I'll be on That's Football. And Sunday night into Monday morning, it's my yearly stream, the Super Bowl. Can't wait for that. Get involved with that. Let's see what happens with this free kick. Bruno's going to whip it in. Into Ahmad. Shoot. No, that's a corner. Over 50s, walking football is more exciting, says Andy Wilson. Anthony Jury says, zero intensity, rubbish football. Sam says, the problem is, it's not just one problem. I agree. I think Dorgu's looked okay when he's got on the ball. Promising, definitely. Corner to United. Bruno's on it. See what happens here. We don't score from corners. Put it right on the keeper. Nope. Doesn't even beat the first man again. Fucking rubbish. That's 2 corners we've not beat the first man. Lovely play by Ahmad. Dorgu over the bar. Why aren't the Man United players moving? Statue FC, says Moser. Do you honestly believe we can win the Europa League? No, Kieran. At the moment, the way we're playing, we won't win the Europa League. We are playing so bad. Not just tonight, in general. Players overthinking it when it comes to passing is a result of our fan base killing players mentally for making mistakes. What a load of shit, Pedge. You are talking out your arse. So, a professional footballer who has jumped more barriers than Colin Jackson is now not able to play football because a football crowd aren't happy with their performance. Yeah, that's the sort of weak-minded shit that infiltrates this fan base. I've never heard such shite in all my life. Vinicius Jr. And his camp have rejected Real Madrid's first offer at renewal. You can always dream, Goldbridge, says Howder. Oh, yeah. Don't let fucking Ineos know. They'll start linking it as to him. If they're going to play Dorgu right wing-back, would they not have been putting Ahmad there and buying a left-footed 10, says Lewis. And I have to say, Leicester are playing really sloppy and we're following suit. Should be taking advantage of it and keep losing the ball, says Slow Sports News. Hope you're doing well, pal. Here's Delo. He'll pass it backwards, yeah. It's just so lethargic. I mean, it doesn't matter if look, maybe we're playing a patient game. Another free kick. But you know that free kick there? No one's running to the ball to take it quickly. The intensity of United is just so slow. I'd be running to that free kick quickly and looking to play it quickly because it's not really a good free kick position. So you just want to get playing again quickly. And we're not. He's just going to curl it in the box, hit and hope. I can defo get behind Ahmad Dorgu partnership, says Josh. I predict Dorgu will play good for 10 games before the usual shit rubs on him and he turns into a ghost, says Spencer Silvertower. And good point here from Little Fat Dozer. He says, we are playing at home, aren't we? And Henry says, did we really buy a left wing back just to play him right wing back? At the moment, yes. 25 minutes. It's flown by. Dal says, I like the Dorgu kid. It's a scary point, though, and it's a true point. That does happen a lot. You get players that come into Man United, new players. They do look really good. And then after a certain period of time, they settle into what United's all about and gradually just become mediocre. Hopefully that won't happen. Different manager, it might not. Lee Riley, thanks for your super chat. Hi, Mark. I didn't realise when changing your YouTube name, formerly Hornet, there's a 2-week period before changing it back. Whoops. Anyway, glory, glory, Man United, the not-so-fine art student. Thank you very much. I'd rather have David Attenborough than Delo at left-back, says Dale Austin. And Amorim looks frustrated, says Ravi. Often suffer from insomnia. I'll record this game, says Joe. Mate, I was out last night until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired, and I'm trying to stay up. Good play by Dorgu. Hey, come on, ref. Get your bloody whistle in your mouth and blow it. That was a foul. You're having a laugh. Nice ball in. Nice ball in. Careful, it's Leicester. Stupid shot. Right. Big up yourself, brother, says Man United Hodge. Hope you're doing well, mate. Legend of the chat. Dorgu out. Sell him. Just a joke, says Espin. I didn't watch the Liverpool game last night. Did Tell play for Spurs? I didn't hear any. I didn't pay any notice of it. I just saw the result. I've nicked somebody's thing and used it as a tweet, but we are a community, and I think, you know, what's yours is mine. Basically just said, so Delo on at left wing, because he's fucking rubbish there. Always hated this inverted winger bullshit since Van Gaal started with Depay. I think these managers even like the score, the line inverted. This Pep shite passing football and inverted bullshit, says Sarvesh. Look, I'm behind Amorim, but I've got to say, I don't like inverted wingers. Sorry, fullbacks. I understand inverted wingers because it basically, if you look at Marcus Rashford as a right-footed left winger, when he cuts inside, he's shooting at more of the goal. Whereas as a right winger, you're shooting at less of the goal from the right-hand side. Whereas if you cut in, you're shooting at more of the goal. I don't get inverted fullbacks because they're not there to shoot. So what's the point? They can play an infield pass. I want them to put a fucking cross in the box. To sign Dorgu and right away put him on the right with Delo on the left is unforgivable, says Toby. One positive, Dorgu, Yoro, Ahmad on the same side. A look to the future, says Cole. And it is the height of stupidity to play both inverted 10s and wing backs. Both want to cut into the same areas. No balance and no crosses, says Leg. Yeah, a lot of people not happy with it. I don't like it. I've got to be honest. I do not like it. It's been a shit half an hour. And I think my honest opinion is, and it's probably the same as yours, ask yourself this question. Do you think we'd be a better team with Dorgu on the left and Delo on the right? And I think we would. We are a team that is struggling massively. And whilst I don't think we should change the formation, I do think we should simplify things. And a balanced left-footed left-back and a right-footed right-back would just simplify the game for footballers that have low IQ. I think we're over-complicating the game, and these players can't do it. They'd be more comfortable with Delo on the right and Dorgu on the left. Honoured for you to nick my take, says Liam. You know, no worries, thanks, mate. Scott and Becky, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. Ineos only here for their slice of the Qatar sale, says Henny. Good take by Dorgu here. Nice layoff. Still very slow. Just need to get the tempo up a little bit here. It's an experiment gone wrong, says Daniel. Oh, fucking hell. Delo's having a fucking nightmare. He's having a fucking nightmare. It gets to the point where you feel sorry for him. Like, I don't think he's put... Oh, here we go. That's a good cross. Well done, Mazraoui. That is very good defending. That cross from Leicester was... That's what I'm talking about. Well, watch this. You know... Best bit of the game. Left-footed left-back puts a cross in the box. It's almost just too simple, isn't it? Corner to Leicester. Mark, check your left eye. I'm fully aware of what's happening with my left eye. Trust me, I look in the mirror more than enough. I've got a bloody burst blood vessel. It is getting better. It was a lot worse on Wednesday. Corner to Leicester. Goal! Oh, it should have been. Am I happy that wasn't a goal? I was literally about to say goal. I've seen that movie more than I've seen Jaws. And that was a bloodbath. I've watched Jaws about 22 times. Should have been a goal for Leicester, that. Really shit from United, this. How many aimless long balls do you think we've played? I tell you what, I think Ugarte has played well tonight. Lovely ball. Lovely ball. Here we go. Ahmad. Lovely ball by Bruno. Oh, Mainu, shoot. Oh. That was our best play, that. All started with Ugarte. I think Ugarte's arguably been our best player. Yeah, shout out to number 11 for Leicester. Keep an eye on him. Someone in the chat's just been talking about him. Jawad says, absolute baller. He will surely gain interest in the Premier League. Why not look into it if Mount stays absent? Fair play, good comment. Delo is predictable on the left and it's killing us, says Dan the man. Only reason the club was up for sale was if one of the siblings wanted out, the others did not. Ineos just bought one of them out, hence no full sale, says Jonathan. Jack Stewart says, we pass it sideways, have most of the possession doing nothing, then whenever Leicester get the ball, they get it forward and look more dangerous. It's painful. And Jay says, I support Amorim, but why is he playing Delo out of position? Dog user unit, says Ugarte. Chuffbridge says, inverted wingers work because you have overlapping fullbacks. Now you're just killing the wide areas. Yeah, that's what I agree. Wilco says, Delo is shocking and it has been for a while. Take off Delo is making too many mistakes, says Alan Noonan. And Andres can't understand the advantage of inverted wingers. And Daniel says the game has been utterly shit from both teams. I don't get this inverted wingers shit. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. We are very close to 36,000. We're only a couple of hundred away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And if you're on TikTok, Willie says, it's painful, Mark. He's either shoving something somewhere he shouldn't do, or he is not enjoying this game. Nick says it's painful to watch this match. At least he clarified. Thank you very much, Nick. Yeah, Leicester got a chance to whip a cross in again. A natural cross off the left. Let's have a look. Here it comes. Watch out for Faze. That's a crap cross. Let it go. Let it go. You wouldn't want to bring heaven in on this, would you? You really wouldn't. Subs I'd be looking to make. I tell you what, it might be out there. I'd seriously consider Casemiro next to Ugarte. Because Casemiro can pass and he can do the. I mean, Bruno's just. There's a few things about this team that are fundamentally going to get us battered by better sides. Bruno in the midfield doesn't work. Delo on the left-hand side doesn't work. And there is zero things going on in the final third. So we're not going to score, and we've got fundamentally two weak areas in the team. That's before they even. Well, I don't know whether the defense is weak because it's not really been got at yet. But Bruno's. There's no way. Well done, Yoro. Now move it quick. Oh, the pass was on. Got to be a bit quicker than that, bruv. Go on, he's gone. See, too many touches, Ahmad. You've just ran into the area that Dorgu already was. This is the problem we have. Players just don't play the pass that's on. Like, Delo was on again. Ahmad, pass. First time. That's a good ball by Bruno. Bad thing is it's gone to Delo. Oh, fucking hell. Couldn't cross his legs. Here's Dorgu. Come on, what are you all about? What are you all about? Corner. Dixon says change formation. Robert McCormack. Dixon is halfway to his real name. Is Amorim trying to get himself sacked? It's so bad, says Scott. Leicester having a 15-year-old on the bench is crazy. Have they? TMAF, thank you very much. Double D always says something interesting. Here we go. Super chat from Double D. Amorim calls out when players aren't doing their job, but he has to be called out for his wing-back selections tonight. Dorgo on the right is criminal and Delo should never wear the shirt again. Absolute rubbish. Double D, I tell you what, there's still a long way to go and it's hard to be negative when you win, but I absolutely agree with you. This is the first time I feel like I would be critical of Amorim. I do not agree what he's done with his fullbacks so far. Bit of a drop by the keeper. Could have been an OG, but no, he kept hold of it. Mark, playing 5 at the back to home to Leicester is crazy. You will always struggle to attack with that system, says Neil. Short Horror says, you've got a red dot on your eye. Are you okay? You might not be a regular, mate. I burst a blood vessel in my eye on Wednesday morning. It was a lot worse than this. It's sort of draining down and getting better. Can take up to 2 weeks, the doctor said, but seems to be getting better quicker. Bring the goalkeeper coach on, says Mark. How long should we blame players over bad tactics, says Saka? Mate, these players are shit. The players can never be excused because we've seen it under Ten Hag. We've seen it under Ollie. The players aren't good enough. But I don't agree with this is another shit performance at home. Look, a better team would be 3-0 up, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. It's only because it's Leicester that we're not losing. They just don't look very threatening at all. Thank you, Double D. This is painful, says the not so fine art student. Yoro's playing great. People forget how young he is, says Shane. Yeah, these are good games for him. Shah, Noaz, thank you very much for the follow on TikTok. Cameron says it's a boring game. Why is Dorgo on the right, says NR13. And I don't think Amorim trusts any of these players. People calling for the manager, but that does nothing when we're in the same position next year. Oh, yeah, there's no point sacking the manager. These players don't get any better under anybody. Football's moved on. The Premier League's moved on. You can't grind your way into the top 4 anymore. You've got to be a good team, and we're just not a good team. Could be worse. Could be an Aussie like me who supports Spurs and gets up at 2:30 to see them get bent over a park bench every week, says Finals. Well, good news for Spurs is your next game is us. Well, no, it's the FA Cup in the Prem. Julian says Bruno plays CM, centre attacking midfield, centre back and striker in the same game. He's indisciplined. And that was from Julian. And Joshua says, I feel like everyone's forgetting Delo was our player of the year last year. At right back, but he needs a run of games at right back to get back to his back. I think, Joshua, you're right. I think there's a good player in Delo, but he's certainly, like, we have seen Delo at Manchester United a lot longer than Ruben Amorim has. And every game he's played at left back, he has been a player that looks out like he's playing out of position. But we have a left back and Delo is still playing. So if this is the solution, I'm sorry, Delo won't be the answer. He just won't. It won't work. Sanderberg would be way better in the system than Agate. Agate cannot play a forward pass to save his life, says Matt. And yet, I think Agate's played 3 of the best passes we've seen in the game so far. I think he's having a good game. I would say man of the match. Jim Radcliffe's going to have to give us the summer of our lives. How will we this bad, says Harry. He won't be able to give us the summer of our lives at all if we don't get into Europe. Bobby says Harry Maguire is the Bosch Beckenbauer. HC says to see these two former great teams is so sad. Leicester? What are you sniffing? Ass? Get Delo out, Dorgu left, Ahmad right, and Garnacho at 10, says Semir. I completely agree. Here we go, 1-0. And there it is. I've seen this movie before. It might be offside, but well, there's no VAR. There's no VAR, so it's 1-0. I said it before. I've seen this movie before. And I've seen it more than Jaws. And that was a bloodbath as well. Fucking rubbish. And I tell you what. Guess what? Guess what? Well, I'll tell you. It's a cutback again. It's another bloody cutback to an unmarked midfielder on the edge of the box. It's Arsenal last year and every other bloody time it's happened. It's Ten Hag's midfield back, brother and sister. Watch this. Nobody marking on the edge of the box. Oh, who could it be? Whose fault is it? Afar over there. Watch the low. 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 Why is the low fucking stood next to Mazraoui, marking Mazraoui's man? Watch the low go with him when Mazraoui's got him. Doesn't need to be there. Mainu, as an attacking midfielder, is trying to cover the player. Fucking rubbish. He's a spare part, Delo. Doesn't even move towards the fucking ball. Anana should save it as well. Can you believe that? Anana should bloody save it. His feet are for standing. David De Gea could use his feet to save it. Oh, fucking hell. Anana again as well. Fucking, you can save a shot with your foot, mate. It's called football. He thinks his feet are for putting socks and shoes on. Mate, who was it in the chat before the game who said, let's hope Anana doesn't cost us a goal? Although, I've got to be honest, Delo is shit. If you think about it, half the time... Oh, fucking hell. A lot of people saying he did save it. Well, mate, how is he not saving this? You're making me watch it again, aren't you? Right, here we go. Cuts back. It gets nodded in by Ndidi, doesn't it? And we're just waiting for another replay. He did save it, Mark. He did save it. It's not Anana's fault. He's not a good goalkeeper. I don't care whether he's at fault here or not. He's not a good goalkeeper. I'll reserve judgment till I see it again. Agate's got to do better there. It's Delo's position's shit. I'm just fed up with it. To be fair, it wasn't as much Delo's fault as I thought. It wasn't Anana's fault as much as I thought. But Delo is massively at fault. I'm not angry anymore. It's depressing, says David. And I hear we're looking for a new goalkeeper, says Simon. Delo is Portuguese, that's why Amorim uses him, says Voids. And where the hell is Mount? I know it wouldn't change a lot, but our new number 7, I never see him, says The Last Survivor. I'm starting to think Amorim is not very good. Silly positioning of players. No attacking threat, says Andre. Delo out now. Mark, every team scores on us exactly the same way with the cutback. Oh, mate, it's been going on for bloody years. I mean, look away now. If you don't want to see something, look away now. I'm about to show you something. I mean, it's half time literally now anyway, but... look at this. No shots on target. Fucking disgrace. 0 shots on target. We are playing one of the worst teams in the Premier League, and we are absolutely fucking shit. And I tell you what, for the first time, I've got to say, the only person who's happy at the moment will be, well, probably Marcus Rashford, to be fair. He'll be saying, I told you so. But the only person who's happy at the moment is Ruben van Nistelrooy, because that's fucking rubbish. That is absolute shite. And he's got to have a long, hard look at. Look, he's wearing white trainers. He's bloody Carragher. White trainers. Fucking hell. I can't stand them. But seriously, like, look at that. We're at home to Leicester. 50-50 possession. That's embarrassing, mate. 50-50 possession. 2 shots, they've had 4. 3 on target, we've had none. Mate, that is an absolute outrage. It is fucking rubbish. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And I tell you what as well, people can say, you got it wrong, you got it wrong, he loves to play inverted wingers. Well, I got it right. It doesn't bloody work. Delo on the left-hand side, we may as well be down to 10 men. He's absolutely shit at left wing-back. And how has Amorim not figured that out? Because we've been watching it for 2 months. He's absolutely shit. He's one of our worst players at left wing-back. He might be a right wing-back. As a right footer, he might be quite good. But at left wing-back, he's absolute shite. Really bad. And if that's the plan, he ain't going to survive. Amorim won't survive. We will all put up with Delo as a stopgap because the club won't buy you a left-back. But buying a left-back and putting him on the right and keeping Delo on the left, come on. That is, you know, it's the first time I would say Amorim needs some criticism, because I know it, you know it. We would be better with Dorgu on the left and Delo on the right. 100%. This is a team that has got a very low IQ, and you're confusing them even. I mean, who plays inverted fullbacks with a team that can't play a 5-yard pass? With a team that can't mark the runners? With a team that can't create chances? And then you go, we're going to play inverted wingers, inverted fullbacks. I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's like getting a virgin to have a fucking gangbang for their first time out. You know, they're going to struggle. You know, they just wanted missionary and one-on-one. They didn't want complicated. Yeah, I'd like to get to that. It sounds absolutely fantastic. But can we start off with something a bit simple? And that's what Amorim's doing. He's a very good coach, but he's overcomplicating it with a bunch of players that can't do the basics. We've spoken about this so often. How is it that Man United keep hold of the ball so long, don't move the ball quickly, can't put crosses into the box, can't defend properly, can't deal with set pieces? And then we're asking them to play with bloody inverted fullbacks. They can't do it. They literally cannot do it. It'd be like China ringing me up and saying, Goldbridge, we want you to be the face of Chinese football. Bring the United stand to China. We'll give you £1 billion for the year. And I'll go, why would I not? Why would I not? And then I turn up and they say, now speak Chinese. And I'll go, I absolutely cannot do it. I just can't do it. And we're asking for the impossible here. He's got to put Dorgu on the left. He's got to put Delo on the right, or Ahmad on the right, and bring Garnacho off and take Delo off altogether. But it's the first time, and there's nothing wrong with doing this. It doesn't mean we're on the road to hammer him out. Let the prats think that. Let them fall up. Let them call up, talk shit. Maybe they can talk to that twat they've got back on the telly, Janus, or whatever his name is. That change of formation or sack Amorim bollocks is a nonsense. But where I would have a grown-up conversation is that I want Amorim to do well. I like Amorim. I think he's the right guy. But everybody will make mistakes, and he's made a massive mistake today. Dorgu should have been on the left, Delo should have been on the right, and we've tried to be too clever, and it hasn't worked. And as we say, we're looking at the stats there if you're on YouTube, and Leicester deserve to win. Leicester deserve to be in front here. We're heading out of the FA Cup to Leicester at Old Trafford. And At some point, ladies and gentlemen, you need to wake up to the fact, I've been saying this, and I don't say it lightly, lots of people at Man United have had enough. I don't know about players and I don't know about coaches, but I do know about staff. And when I say about staff, Man United employ a lot of people in a lot of roles. They're fed up with the Glazers. They're fed up with Ineos. They don't like the environment. If that's the same thing that's happening with the players and the staff as well, this could be a really worrying situation for Manchester United because we look soulless. We look like a team that's lost. That half of football. Fair play to Leicester, by the way. This is not the Leicester stand, but fair play to Leicester because I firmly believe, and I don't know whether anyone disagrees with me on this, if we'd have been playing Liverpool, we'd be 4-0 down. If we were playing Man City, we'd be 3-0 down. If we were playing Arsenal, we'd be 0-0 because they haven't got anyone up front. But you know what I mean? If we were playing somebody half decent, they'd have battered us that half. We were total shit. Absolute shit. Don't be fooled by the fact that it's only 1-0. This is Leicester. Leicester have lost 7 of their last 8 Premier League games. If we were playing Brentford or Fulham, we'd be in big trouble. This game would be gone. Sorry to throw strays at Arsenal. It's about all I can do. This game would be gone against a decent team. And Leicester deserve to be winning, but they're not a decent team. Absolute shit. Shit. I feel sorry for every fan who's at that ground because from minute 1, nothing. Mainu and Ahmad are out of the game. Rasmus may as well be sat fucking in a tracksuit playing FIFA or whatever he plays. Just a waste of time. An absolute waste of time. And you can't blame those 3 players, by the way. Ahmad, Mainu and Rasmus. They've got about 7 players around them when they get the ball because we're so slow at moving the ball from back to front. By the time it goes anywhere near them, Leicester have got everybody behind them. It's shocking. Now, I've just had something coming in here. Let's get ready for this. It's XG. XG. Get ready for this. Manchester United's XG at half-time, 0.04. Leicester's is 1. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And look, in fairness, maybe Marcus Rashford sat at home with a smile on his face. Maybe Anthony is as well. But the point is, they wouldn't make any difference in a game like this. Fundamentally, you've got to ask yourself, why isn't it working? And I would say, look, the back 5 is wrong at home. It should be a back 3 with 2 wide wingers. Dalot is playing way too deep. Look at the goal. They're showing it on the telly. Look at Dalot. He doesn't need to do what he does. He should be hanging back. He acts like a fullback in a back 5. He shouldn't be there. He doesn't need to be where he is. Mazraoui's got that guy. He should be edge of the box. That's where he should be. He doesn't know what fucking role he's playing because he thinks he's a fullback. Dalot's the one at fault there. He's a cement bag. He's a fucking waste of space. Dalot doesn't know how to play that system. He doesn't know how to play it. And he's not the only one. Bruno in the midfield. Whoa. I wrote this down at the start of the game. Bruno's a waste of time in this system. He needs to play as an attacking midfielder. That is not what you get at. I said it about 10 minutes before the goal. I would bring Casemiro on. We need a specialist next to Ugarte. I thought Ugarte did quite well. He lost the ball for the goal, but I thought Ugarte was doing quite well. But there's no symmetry. Bruno cannot play that role. He will not win the ball back. So if Ugarte doesn't win the ball back, we've got no one to win the ball back. You can't put Bruno Fernandes in a holding midfield position just because he can pass the ball. It's masking something by putting Bruno in there, and he is not that player. So I would get Collier on. Collier would be perfect. If I was making subs at half-time, Dalot comes off and Dorga goes to left back. Ahmad goes to right wing back, so we actually get some width. Garnacho comes on next to Mainu. Bruno's got to come off. So Bruno goes next to Mainu maybe, and you put Collier on in the midfield. But Bruno does not work there either. And people can have a pop at Dalot, and we can talk about the inverted wing backs, which is not working, and we can talk about Rasmus again or whatever. But realistically, that midfield, I wrote it down before the game. You should always tune in before the game because we were talking about, you know, the 2 things I wrote down actually before the start of this game. Bruno in the midfield and the left back. He didn't even play at fucking left back. Zero forward passing. Everything is backwards to a centre-back or the keeper. The team has no threat in it, says Z3. We sacked Ten Hag, who won these players, to get someone who physically can't win with these players. Awful decision from top to bottom, says Edward. Well, they are Ten Hag's players, though. They're not Amorim's players. You've got to hold that, Edward. Hi, Mark. United are rubbish. Good luck winning the Europa League. AJ, welcome to the Members Club. ESPN pundit saying time to fire Amorim, says DV. Professionals who don't move the ball quick enough, says Rohan. Was on Bruno and Mainu, not Delo, says Norville. No, mate. That's your opinion, and you're welcome to it. I've analysed it. I've told you my opinion. So they're trying to blame Mainu, says Raz. Yeah, but Mainu's... How can it be Mainu's fault? Mainu is playing in a front three. Why would Mainu be responsible for marking a Leicester midfielder? Like, if you watch Delo, he's doing exactly what he was doing all game. He's playing like a left back in a fucking system where you're meant to be higher up the pitch. Get Bruno at the pitch, switching with Mainu, switching the wing backs, or get Garnacho on. Pile of shit, says Crossfire. Erasmus can't hold off out. Yeah, because it's just long balls, Corey. Thanks for Rashford, says the HPN. Can you recommend hotels near Old Trafford for April, says Simon Slade? Hotel football. I think Bruno is a big problem at centre midfield. We can't get the ball from the defence. All our possession is in our own half. We're getting worse, says Jordan Shaw. What is Amorim doing? This is terrible. It's utterly boring to watch. Do they understand they have to put the ball in the back of the net, says Anthony. Collier on for Delo. Dorgu to the left. Bruno to 10. Can't believe how bad Delo has been the whole season, says Jeremiah. Up the Leicester, says Reese's channel. Morning from Sydney. Disappointed with the half, but do you think Amorim will pull it back for us, says Brandon? Well, we've got to, mate. Look, on a very global point... Financially, Man United are screwed. If we're not in Europe, we're in a massive problem in the summer. Sorry, Mark, respect your opinion, but Glinios know nothing about football and have picked a manager who does not suit United or English football. I cannot back owners or managers playing this negativity, says Andrew O'Brien. You're entitled to your opinion. The Amorim out crowd might be Pratt's, but how long until Uncle Jim, who is King Pratt, sacks him, says Foldy. And I'm extremely worried about the moment. Dorgu looks decent, but playing on Delo's left is like playing with 10 men. Europa or we're in trouble if we go out here, says Scott Page. This is the worst birthday gift I've ever had, says Dummison. And Ashworth was right about Amorim. His tactically inflexibility will likely get us relegated. We need to part ways soon, says Ashwin. 23-24, Rotherham could move the ball better, says the Canary Iron. This club has made me fall out of love with football. The spark for United isn't there anymore, says Blake Ryan. Does Amorim favour Portuguese players? Bruno and Delo untouchable. Delo off. Bruno and Mainu switch, says SJV. Say what you like. This means is not getting the best out of his squad. Can't press or pass through the midfield. Boring football, says Mark Future. And Fergus says Delo is so frustrating on the left. No cross into the box for the striker. Recycling the ball 1,000 times. It's boring, Mark, says Trey. And Dan Harding says, talk about needing a striker is insane. Putting Pele crossed with Maradona could not score in this team, says Dan. Pipe dream is over. Basic start again, says Tony Dev. Vibes of Van Gaal, sideways and backwards. Peace on TikTok and Wayne San. Thank you very much for your follow. It should easily be Binder starting this game. He's injured, Joey. Could he be doing it because he trusts Samad to help Dorgu more than Mainu? Don't agree with it though, says Brendan. And Garnacho is in the reserves, right, says Nitz. He's on the bench. These players cannot do simple fundamentals, says Josh. Why can't these players press at the right moments? Each game we're getting worse, says Scott Treacher. Look, how do you solve the problem? Because you don't solve it with substitutes. This is a technical issue. I think looking at the game and looking at Man United in recent weeks, we're just not creating chances. No shots on target, 2 shots altogether in 45 minutes against Leicester at Old Trafford is abysmal. But it's not surprising. If you look at the first 10 minutes, it was side-to-side crab football. We were hitting diagonal balls to Delo. Anana's kicking it long every time he can, every chance he can. I'd be saying to these players, why, and look, Anana, why are you kicking it long? I saw you in the Champions League final be impressed by Man City, take a touch and find a pass. Why are you kicking it long? Why are you panicking and kicking it long? I know you don't need to do that. And the Leicester players aren't even close to you when you're kicking it. You've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Why are you kicking it long? Why are you hitting diagonals, Harry? Why are you hitting diagonals, Yoro? Like, why? To Delo. Why are you doing it? And if you're going to do it, why can't you hit it accurately? We take too many touches on the ball. I spoke about this in a match reaction quite recently. We take too many touches on the ball. What you should do with the ball is hit it as quick as you can to the first pass that you see. Move the ball quickly, and the opposition, you'll find more space. Garnacho is on. Be interesting who for. It's got to be Delo. It's got to be Delo. You never know with Amorim, though. It could be fucking anybody. It could be Rasmus. It took Dorgu off. Are you having a fucking laugh? No. No. What the fuck? I mean, I often say, please, please, please do not burn new signings. Subbing off a new signing at half time. I mean, what? I don't. He's got to have a knock. He has to have a knock. You can't do that to a new signing. And what did he do wrong? You're playing him out of position for a start. Fucking hell. What the fuck? I don't get that. I mean, Delo has literally put in a 2. I don't get that. I mean, there might be some justification for it, but that is absolutely incredible. And Delo is still playing left wing back, by the way. The only change is that Yoro's gone left wing back, left centre back, and Mazraoui's gone to right centre back. Another shit pass by Delo straight away. Overplays it. Well, I'm not speechless because I'm still talking, but I'm stunned by that. I really am. Look, if someone in the chat knows, let me know. I don't get that at all. Amorim wants the payout. I don't blame him, says Mario. He's got a knock, says Alan Noonan. He must have a knock. He did take a bad tackle. He must have a knock. He must do. It doesn't make any sense. Was far from the worst player on the pitch. What a joke. Might as well turn off the TV. Only exciting part of the game was watching the new players, says Cole. I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm now starting to question the manager. He's had the week with them. Surely he's been training them. We're going backwards as a team. Amorim needs to change or he's gone, says Glenn. I'm going to get some cheeks, says Parker. Amorim wants the payout. Done that from Mario. You said you like inverted wingers because they can cut in and shoot. How many times did we do that with inverted fullbacks and attackers? And do we even like to cut in? That's not a reason. No, Sarvish, I prefer natural wingers. I don't mind inverted wingers, but I prefer natural wingers. But inverted fullbacks, I don't get it. Struggling to understand Amorim's decisions here, says Ardo. Every manager comes in and does weird stuff, says 5 Cantonars. Dorgo is not Amorim signing, it's the board, says Lee. Down that wine, you prat. Do it for your club, says Job. No, I want it to last. If Amorim keeps on playing Bruno, we are not going anywhere. Agate should be playing with Collier, says Anil. Leicester lost to Everton 4-0 and we haven't had a shot against them, says Jaden. Why would we sake him if all the players were his? To bring in a manager with no players who can do his system, it's just sad seeing the same thing over and over again, says Edward. Sebuff, welcome to Members Club. These players must be amazing in training because they're shocking in matches, says Daz. And Paul says, I'm turning into Boohoo Man. Ollie Moores says, I wish we'd brought him in the summer, Amorim. Well, all Leicester need to do is what they did in the first half, stop us having a chance. I'm still trying to find out why Dorgu's come off. I'm looking around just to see if there's a... Yeah, I'm just looking around social media as well as our live chat, and nobody, I think everybody is in a collective shock here. And look, it's not pre-season. It's not like he's had. It's not like Amorim can say, at the end of the game, you know, he's only had one training session. Like, he's been playing for Lecce for half a season. He's match fit. Like, this is not a fitness thing. At least we're helping Rude keep his job, says Jarl. And I'm sick of tired of watching every other team doing the basics better than us, says Marlowe. Mark Goldbridge, this is really sad for me, man. I wanted Man United to win. Can you dance shirtless to make us feel better? Yeah, funnily enough, immigrant man, I can't. And Shahin says, too many inexperienced young players and not enough experience and leadership. Casemiro had a big responsibility to fill that role, but has been disappointing and we're lacking balance. That's from Shahin. And Item Panda says, the sooner you will realise taking Bruno away from 10 is the worst decision ever, the better. We can't create anything. I like Delo, but you can't do this at this level. You can't just stick with a player hoping that they're going to turn it around. Ten Hag did it with Rashford. Oh, at some point he'll just get better, and he just kept picking him, and the results didn't get any better. And I feel like Amorim's doing it with Delo. See, Bruno wins the ball back there and then plays a sideways pass. He's got to go fucking forward, mate. Dorgu probably was told at the start he gets a first half, says Andres. Thomas says, Dorgu is fine. People need to wake up. There's been 0 positives since Amorim started. Now he's proving a point by subbing a signing that's not his. Maybe, just maybe, Amorim just not the one. What's all this about him not being his signing? I've never had any inclination that it's not his signing. I accept that, like a week ago, people were saying that this was Dorgu's signing, and I said, well, it's not his number one, because Mendes was his number one, but I think Nuno Mendes and Dorgu do have similar characteristics. I can't imagine that he's against the signing of Dorgu, really. I really can't. How long before United are relegated? We won't get relegated, James. Devon says, people saying Amorim out all share the same single brain cell. It's not the manager's fault again. A different one will fix it for sure. Not. It's so annoying that Ahmad never plays the running player. We play too safe, says Louis. Amorim said he won't put anybody over his guys. I just hope he doesn't see Delo as his guys because he never gets subbed no matter how bad he is. And Bruno, says David. Look, and Arne's going long again. He's got to be the worst example of a playing out from the back goalkeeper ever. Rain Smith says, taking Dorgo off is such a scapegoat. I miss McTominay. G. Jano says, wouldn't it be a perfect setup for Qatar if we don't get European football? Love the show. Thanks for the follow, Ost. Celtic MDD says, why is your eye red? Had a burst blood vessel midweek, mate. It's getting better, but sometimes when you do it, you can have a whole red eye around your pupil. These players break down more than Winders Vinster, says someone. And Delo, I think he needs to play on the right, says Cinema Drunk. Mark, who's after Amorim if he gets sacked, says Chris. Mate, I find it quite funny, the amount of people that are talking about Amorim getting sacked, like Man United have got 10 million. They ain't sacking Amorim. Rasmus can't believe how shit that cross was from Mainu. Mazraoui shooting from about 40 yards. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 50 subscribers away from 36,000. I mean, this is when it gets worrying, when you start shooting from 40 yards. They sacked Ten Hag and Ashworth, yeah, but mate, that cost them about 20 million quid. We haven't got another 10 to do that. Seriously, we can't afford to sack Amorim. Like, we can't. We can't keep the ball, can't get out of our half, says Andres. Mate, if we go out like this, I do feel like he's, I'm going to start writing this down. I think favouritism is a word that needs discussing here. It's a word that, I never wanted Ten Hag to get sacked. I always stuck by Ten Hag because lovely cross into the box from Leicester again, and it's Mazraoui again. I think that, yeah, but one of my criticisms of Ten Hag was the favouritism. And I'm starting to sense favouritism with Amorim. I mean, he can be very harsh. We've seen what he did to Garnacho, what he did to Rashford, Anthony. He can be very definitely harsher than any manager we've had since Mourinho. But there is a tinge of hypocrisy in how bad Delo is playing. And yet still gets picked every game. I mean, look at him running down he's running down the left-hand side. It's all his right foot. Although he did play a pass with his left. I don't know why Rasmus is falling over there, for fuck's sake. Might be worth getting Xerxes on. You've got to hold the ball up. I can't believe we've still had no shots. Let's get the stats carousel running around because I can't keep looking at that. AAVFC stream on TikTok says United will win this game, but I wouldn't want to watch my team play like this. Very optimistic. Here's Garnacho into the box, cuts it back. Bruno, edge of the box, don't shoot. Fucking idiot. Lazy, running out of energy, Pratt. Why are you shooting off your left foot there? It's just low IQ again. The shot's not on, but I'll do it on my weak foot. Fucking calm down. You're the one telling people to calm down. Rotate the possession. So bad at decision making. Lovely play by Mainu. Come on, Ahmad. Here we go. Into Mainu. No. You can't do a blind fucking flick. Just low IQ again in key positions. You can't do a no-look flick. We're 1-0 down. We make Leicester look like a top side, says Andre. Should we get rid of Onana this summer for Simon or Costa? Where are you going to get the money for that, Freddie? I'm all for it, but we ain't got no bloody money, mate. I hate to say it because I used to really like him, but Delo has to go, says Like Schofield. The Glazers and Ineos are going to devalue this team to the point where they will have to beg Qatar to buy the club, says JE. And Acid23 says, I need to vent. This possession and passing out bullshit is starting to annoy me, and Onana is a joke. At this point, I'd rather counterattack. Transfer budget's going to go on new TVs. LG sponsor, says Cryptic. Cal, name 3 dream summer signings and 3 Deadwood players to go for this summer. No, I won't, Bobby. I'll tell you why. Because I live in the real world. And dream signings are not a reality in a football club that is broke and will be fucking ruined in the summer if we don't get European football. So there is no dream signings because that just makes people dream that there's a way out of this shit. We need to talk about Southgate, Mark, says Jamie Carragher. Remember the time you thought we'd win the Champions League, says Ruffio. Good times. I live in Leicester and not good for me, says Garfield. Too much self-love or constipated, says Rory. The board have wrote the season off but still want fans to pay to go and watch, says Aldo. Players didn't get the memo tonight, says Gino. Ahmad had been our only positive, but even he's been poorly lately. This is bad lefty. And embarrassing to have no shot on target. Ineos and the Glazers out, says Isha. Thank you very much. What's the score, Mark, says SG? Well, it's 1-0 to Leicester. Oh, I'm just getting so frustrated. Like, this fucking Bruno experiment in the midfield is not working. Put him higher up the pitch and put Collier on. But he won't do it because he doesn't want to take off Mainu and he would never take off Bruno. So it's like, It's favouritism FC again. Leicester score another one and it's over. Nepotism. Portuguese nepotism. Says Patak. You know what? You know what's so horrible? I mean, look at Leicester have played so much better than us. They play better football than us. How many teams are going to come to Old Trafford and make us look like a bunch of mugs? Here we go. Long ball from Bruno. Too many touches again. Too many fucking touches again. Look at Leicester playing out from their edge of their own box with confidence. They're having the time of their lives. Dirty dancing. Mark, you know what? With your knowledge, you could set up a better game plan than this. Maguire, heavy touch. So Jim should have to do a press conference, says Eric. Lucas, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. We're nowhere near the bottom of the barrel yet, Mark, says Mubbin. How far off championship level are we, says Bren. Well, the frustration is building. You can see it. Rude's getting excited. He's putting his snood up so he doesn't have to laugh. I do like that ball. Oh. Leicester are literally bullying us, you're right. I tell you what, I genuinely don't see us winning this game. We're gonna be. I'm in that position now where I don't know about you, but I think we'll be very lucky to get back into this game. It's going to take luck because they are. After an hour of a football match, you sort of understand the flow of the game, and Leicester are better than us. It's not about they're 1-0 up. They're literally better than us. They are popping the ball about with real confidence. It's weird. It's really weird. And, you know, you listen to the players and how they talk about Amorim. They clearly like him. They're just not good enough. They're not... I'm tired of it. I think you start searching for other excuses. They're just technically just not very good. Look at Delo, how many touches he's taken there. Too many touches again. Bruno's going to hit it long. That's all he's got. Into Ahmad. Goes out for a throw-in. And that's the problem with the long ball. It's really difficult. People will go, that's a good ball by Bruno, but it's hard to control by Ahmad. It's hard to control because it's a long ball. Mainu's coming off for Xerxes. Well, he's not very happy, but no, you're not had a good game, mate. He's unlucky in a sense, but I mean, it could have been Rasmus, could have been, well, never be Bruno. Yeah, going back to the long ball though, people will say, oh, that's a good ball by Bruno. It's not, because it's a hard ball to control, and that's why the Leicester player gets it. It's something people don't understand about these Hollywood passes is they might get to the player, but the speed and height of them make them very hard to control and retain. And then the receiver gets the blame, but actually it's a good play here. Agate into Garnacho. Needs a bit of help. Might go himself. Brilliant! Oh, no! Off the line. Garnacho can't believe it. Jammy bastard, Leicester. I mean, to be fair, it would have been a bit unlucky on Leicester because Garnacho's shot there. To be fair, they didn't deserve to concede there. It went off phase and then the defender did a good job. Thanks for the follow, Paul Nash on TikTok. Killen says, we're so bad at moving the ball from our defenders. Whenever our defence line has the ball, there are 4 or 5 Leicester's players there. So many heavy touches, we're losing the ball way too much. It's the basics, mate. Can't do the basics. Is that our first... We should have all celebrated there. I think that was our first shot on target. I thought Garnacho did very well to get into a position to have a shot there as well, because it didn't look like from the angle he would. Our club's beyond broken, says Martin. Not sure about you, but it's a long way back. Long, painful few years to even compete with the top 4. Big clean-up required. Somehow to get rid of the deadwood, says Zaki. Some of these players finished 2nd and 3rd, says Riker. Now I understand why top managers abandon their philosophies at United, says Naf. Atmosphere at the ground is similar to when managers have been sacked. Fans have had enough. Glazers, Ineos must be a bit stressed, says Amar. How can we take this little risk when we need goals, says Marlowe. And do you think Amorim's honesty in press conferences has an effect on the players, says James? No. Because these players have been shit under Ten Hag. I think people give these players too much excuse. We had some prat in the first half saying they play badly because fans give them criticism. Here's Ahmad. Needs to get rid of it. Too many touches again. How's Rowie? Xerxes. Bang! No. Garnacho. Still 23 minutes to go. Garnacho. Little dinky cross. It's a good cross. Xerxes. 1-0. 1-1. Get in. Number 11. We're back in it. Come on. Get in. Little bit. I told you we're going to need a little bit of luck. And Xerxes will never score an easier goal in his life. A tap-in into an open goal. But it all comes from Garnacho again. Garnacho making things happen. He wants the ball on the wing. Comes out to him here. Good ball by Yoro. And then look at Garnacho. I'm going to get in. I'm going to put a cross into the box. Lovely wing play. That's it. And to be honest, Rasmus was a little bit unlucky as well. He got onto the end of it. But brilliant play by Garnacho. Winger's play. Puts a cross in. Rasmus, little deflection. Xerxes. Hey, you've got to say the substitution paid off. Handball as well. Don't matter. We don't want the penalty. We can't... Look. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, it tastes horrible. I don't know. It does say water on it. I was going to go. Oh no, what is it? Garnacho's changed the game, says Jack. Yep. We are the worst in the Premier League at pressing and we're too slow, says Inspector Cluso. £66 a ticket. Nonsense, says Pure Turnip. This team needs a complete overhaul, says Sergio. And Immigrant says, Mark Goldbridge, if we somehow end up winning this game, can you please oil yourself up and start shaking it on camera? No. I can't even imagine how bad the media pundits and ex-players are going all over Amorim after losing to Rude, says Red Devil. And I genuinely do not understand how a journalist has not attempted a deep interview with the Glazers or Sir Jim, questioning what the hell is happening. It's almost like the main media is scared of them, or part of the problem, mate. There's no such thing as proper journalism around Man United. "20 minutes to win it. Oh, we've got extra time." Oh, God, no one wants that. Get the ball to Garnacho. Wild shot by Garnacho there. "1-1, Connor. We're still brutal," says Bounty Hunter. "Service, we need more crosses. Let's go." It's funny, though. I think in the last month, we've scored a lot of goals from Garnacho just running to the byline and putting crosses in. It's almost like, let's put a natural left back at left back and a right back at right back. And put some bloody crosses in the box. I mean, both goals have come from crosses, let's not forget. Ryan says, Garnacho has made a difference for sure. We've struggled in midfield for some reason. I think Mainu had a poor game tonight, but think Agate's done okay. Yeah, I think Agate's been good. Mainu, Bruno, Ahmad, not so much so. Garnacho's been good. But 1-1's about all we deserve. After 70 minutes, it's now about whether we can go on and win it or not. It's not been convincing at any point. I still think Leicester could score. What's Maguire doing here? Why we like this is SL. And Ineos wanted to sell Garnacho. Have shame, says Jordan. We're very lucky that hasn't happened. Josie, thanks for the follow on TikTok. And Eric as well. Sheb, Anti-Security, Franklin, Neymar, Tom. Matt, Tyson. Thank you very much. Time to get crap must go, says Nanbrand. Amorim is so rattled on the bench. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I want Amorim to do well, but I've got to be honest, tonight has been quite enlightening. The nepotism is real. I'm sorry, but it is. He has favourites, and you can't have favourites in football. If they're not performing, you can't have favourites. Like, you can't just pick players because you like them, and I feel like he's picking certain players. He's just picking and putting them in positions just to keep them in the team. Like, Bruno is not a midfielder, and Delo is not a left-back, and it really hurts us. And we'll lose games because of it. Chikorito says, you could all use me out there. Glinios, oh Glinios, you've led us to glory from top of the league to mid-table story, says Kirill. Mark, what's your opinion on Secret Labs chairs, says Dean. Good. Raz says, I'd love to see Dorgu and Garnacho down the left. You and me both, Raz. Yeah, straight to... Well, it's the same as the Arsenal game. It's extra time and penalties. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. Live every night at 8 o'clock. Every morning at 10 o'clock. Although tomorrow, I think I'm live a bit earlier. Still only had 2 shots on target in 73 minutes at Old Trafford. You'd expect to have that in the first 5 minutes in the olden days. Here's Ahmad. Come on. Where are we going? Cut back, cut back. Oh, it was good. It was good. Garnacho and Xerxes were close again. Rasmus has been better and Agate has been class, as James. Mark, shout out Mark Rooney, who is tuning in from Austin, where he's sorting out his rig out. Also, shout out Emma, who's coming with me to the Dublin show, says Paul Murphy. So, shout out to Paul, Austin, and Emma. Audra says, considering the number of assists from Martinez this season, his absence is a factor. Zenon says, I'm worried about Rasmus and hope he stays. How did Dorgu do, says David? I thought he was okay. I was very surprised to see him come off. I presume Amorim will say something about minutes and adjustment, but we don't play for another week. You see, there's too many passes going backwards. You've got to keep the momentum going. They should be able to play a forward pass. Lovely take by Garnacho. Does well. Puts the cross in. No one there. Nothing wrong with the cross. No one on the edge of the box. Rasmus gets it into Garnacho. Here we go. Wins a corner. Come on. Get the goal and sit back and defend and park the bus. Kansas City Chiefs or Philadelphia Eagles, says Sergio. Well, I'm doing the watch-along on Sunday night. Get involved. If you've never watched the Super Bowl before, you need to watch it with me on a watch-along. It's great fun. I think the Chiefs will win, but I'd like to see someone different win it. I support... Mark, have you ever ventured up to Derry during your time in Ireland, says Kieran? No, I don't think I did. And Sam Braun says, I support Amorim, but I don't understand these inside wing-backs. Alpha on the right and vice versa. Wide players to get to the byline, says Sam. Weird corner from... Oh, for fuck's sake. If they score from here... We were very lucky there. Bruno's corner nearly ended up with us getting caught on the break. That would have been embarrassing. Sean says, we're going backwards. Chris says, would you keep Maguire next season? Here's Delo. Now's your chance, mate. Ignores the overlap of Garnacho. Incredible. And another shit pass by Bruno. Fucking hell. I mean, it's a toss-up, isn't it, between Bruno and Delo. I think Bruno's been better than Delo, to be fair, but fucking hell, how are they still on the pitch? Well, Bruno's on the pitch because you can't sub him off, but just another shit performance. Mazraoui's had a good game as well. Considering he's playing more positions than a bloody porn star. Can't believe... I don't want extra time. I do not want extra time. The thing is, though, you'd normally be 1-0 down at Old Trafford, 1-1, and then you'd lay siege to their goal. But it's not happening. It's not been that sort of game at all. Ship Delo and Bruno back to Portugal, says Freddie. Philadelphia Eagles get a chili steak and chill, says Muriaki. Bruno's spark disappears in the 6, says Eddie. He's just not a 6. I'll argue it with anybody. He's just not a 6. Here's Mazraoui. He's got to cut it back. They're queuing up for the cutback. Shit cross. Yoro. Do not put the ball out. Do not put the ball out. Garnacho. Bruno doesn't fancy a 50-50. Garnacho. Delo. Garnacho, lovely play. Shoot! I said shoot. I can't moan. I don't know whether there was a... They're going mad in the middle. I don't think... I don't think a pass was on, to be fair. I would have had a shot. I would have had a shot. Bruno, best pass was to Leicester. We are Moments FC, says Neil. That was Andre as well. Amorim needs to pull Bruno off. I don't want to see that, Raz. Sergio's from the States. Let's go, Man United. Ship Delo and Bruno back to Portugal, says Freddie. Thanks for the follow. Nobody is he. Daka was down for Leicester, but he's up now. Mark Thomas, Tomkis, thanks for the follow. So glad we didn't get... I don't know who you are, Cameron. In Norway and genuinely see better at the park, says Daniel. There's big Sam Allardyce sat with Sir Alex. Bloody hell, we don't want him. I can't believe people in the chat are slagging off Garnacho when he's been our best attacking player when he came on. This is the problem. Like, we've got far bigger problems and people want to slag off Garnacho. Like, it's weird. Like, have you not seen how shit we are? How shit we were in the first half? How shit Delo is? How shit Bruno is in the midfield? And yet people want to go in on Garnacho. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious that that's your analysis to have a pop at Garnacho, who actually got us back into the game. We'd be losing if it wasn't for him. He's the only player that's actually been creative. No one else has done anything. And look at Bruno just whacking long balls all the fucking time. I'm tired of it. I can't believe he hasn't brought Collier on. I'd have brought Collier on. I'd have brought Casemiro on. Obsession with Bruno in the midfield is going to cost us a lot of games. I don't know, Mark. Have we really played enough games without Bruno to say that we're definitely worse without him? We need a solution for when he plays. Look, I don't mind Bruno playing as a 10. But in this midfield, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I said it before the game. Let's analyse it again. It really doesn't work. Delo misses the runs into space, doesn't look forward and ball watches in defence, yet plays, says Justin Jeffries. That's not an excuse to not pass. Sorry, Mark, says Robert. I know. All I'm saying is, in that position, I would have shot. I said shoot. He shot. He missed. Envy an NFL game in Dublin next season. Are you going to go, says Benbow? Probably. Don't know if it's been said before, but Bruno and Amorim could be brothers, says Darry. Will Amorim be Andre Villas-Boas or a Mourinho, says Ivor. So boring that Sir Alex is yawning, says Mariuki. Hypocrite when it comes to Garnacho. If that was Delo or Rashford, you'd be calling them crap for shooting. Mate, I literally shouted shoot before he even shot. I can't say anything. If it had been Rashford and I shouted shoot, I can't change my mind. I said shoot. I literally said shoot before he shot. I can't slag whoever it was. I've got to stick by what I said. Hate to say it, but I think Amorim deserves a 4. Oh, yeah. I think this has been his worst game. Oh, Agate needs to be bloody careful there. He can't be doing these Martinez-type tackles. What is it? He could have got a straight red. He can't do that. Can't do that. Can't jump into tackles like that. It's the South American gene, says Benji. I wonder how these United fans would have reacted when we had Schneiderlin, Fellaini, Jones, Smalling all starting at one point. This is Kevin. 50% of the time Bruno is at United, he was poor. That's not good enough, says Red Devil Germany. It's a very good point, actually. Who's your favourite player in this year's squad, says Jack. That's a really hard question to answer. Nevsky says, Fernandez is a weird one. I like him, but also I hate him. Just get rid of him. It doesn't work. I love Bruno, but I don't like him in this role. He hasn't got the discipline for it anyway. And he can't play it. He doesn't go and win the ball either. If you're going to play in the midfield too, you've got to go and win the ball, and he doesn't. And the Muppets running the club wanted to sell Garnacho, says George. Shout out Mark Judge from Dublin, who's watching the United game in a random pub in Stockholm. Also shout out Mark for aligning with me in corrupting our Fantasy League draft with the lads, says Mark Rooney. Hi Mark, watching from a small town in Norway. If you could give a shout out to our local team, OK, Ice. Yeah, mate, I'm not a bloody idiot, Daniel. Don't know if it's been said before, but Bruno and Amrit have done that one. Thank you. Right, 5 minutes to go. I think we're looking at extra time. Or are we? Delo on the left-hand side. Yeah, that was the end of that conversation, wasn't it? If I went to the doctors and I was waiting a diagnosis on blood tests and he said, before I give you the results, Delo on the left-hand side, I'd say, it's terminal, isn't it? I'm going to die. You hear the words Delo on the left-hand side and you know it's not going to go well. Corner to United. Bruno, can he get it to a red shirt? No, another corner. Hi Mark, first super chat from me on this channel, says Moo. Been watching for years. Keep up the good work. Best players for me tonight, Garnacho, Agate and Mazraoui. Yeah, probably right, Moo, yeah. Painful to watch again, says Walnuts are Bob. Here we go. Corner, Garnacho, lays it off. Ahmad, Mazraoui, back to Bruno. That corner routine was fucking brilliant, wasn't it? Perry Farman, thanks for the follow. What an amazing corner routine. Absolutely fucking brilliant. I'd love to have been on the training ground when we worked that one out. Better when we cross the ball. Why not do it earlier, says Eves. Ahmad, too many touches again. Bruno, too many touches. Needed to be first time. Are we allergic to a first-time pass? Everybody has to take a touch. I would find it so easy to tackle a Man United player. Because you know they're not going to pass it first time. So as long as you go in on and press them, you know you're going to get a tackle in. They're allergic to it. Free throwing to Leicester. My only positive is that Yoro's having a good game, says Muriaki. Are you watching the Super Bowl? Yes, I'm doing a watch-along, Lucas, on That's Football. Good play by Xerxes. Get the ball to him. At least he moves it quicker. Ahmad takes too many touches. I like Ahmad, but I think he takes 6 touches when he could take 1. Here's Garnacho. Shot straight at the keeper. Amorim got no tactical sense at all. His placement and then sub of Dorgu is stupidity at best and shows that he's in a different world. I give up, says Thomas. Why does Bruno still take corners and free kicks, says Zico. Captain. Thank you very much. Summer BH, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Ahmad should be the 10. I think he's better off the right. Bruno needs a lot more scrutiny. He's the captain of this sinking ship, and I don't think we can get back on track if the captain is blind, says Marlowe. Agate wants to get sent off, says Jay. Garnacho, another good cross. No, not as good that time. Bruno, that is absolutely weak. Fair play to Xerxes for winning it back. That is absolutely shocking by Bruno. You cannot play fucking midfield and let a Leicester player just barge you off the ball and run towards our goal. That's Exhibit A. If anyone clips stuff up, go back to that bit there. Xerxes makes the tackle. Bruno doesn't make the fucking tackle. And that's the guy who's playing in the holding midfield role. It's a waste of space. Can't do the job. Can't do the job. That is weak. With a capital W. Garnacho's first touch is brilliant. Bruno. We are never dangerous when we cross the midfield, says Espin. I'm not frustrated anymore. This is our pre-season, says Stefan. I don't see any place for Bruno in an Amorim system. Mate, I do, Parker. I think that's the problem. I don't see a place how he can't play. It will never take him off. Extra time before penalties as Summer BH, thanks for the follow. Eve says, Bruno always losing 50-50s. Not strong enough. What's the most United player-ish who has never played for the club? Says Howder. I don't know what that means, but it's only 3 minutes added on here. Yoro man of the match. I think Agate's played well. Mazraoui's played well. Garnacho's looked lively since he came on. I mean, I don't want to run away with well either because it's been a shit performance. Bruno will become the new Rashford. I think he would. I don't think so. I think Bruno was already under scrutiny by a lot of people a long way before that. I mean, Ricky's never been a fan of Bruno, has he? For years. So I don't think Bruno's ever fully retained what's the word? Support. To be fair, Leicester didn't really have a chance in the second half, says RTB. Ten Hag thinks his name is Kante, not Bruno, says the film guy. Carl Davis, thanks for the follow. Going on, I boot it long again. Come on, one last attack. Into extra time. Fucking hell. Have we not suffered enough? Extra time. Brandon says, I honestly believe a Mason Mount type player would transform this team. What's a Mason Mount type player? I mean, we've got Ahmad, we've got Garnacho, we've got Mainu, we've got Bruno, we've got Xerxes. We've got 5 different types of attacking midfielders, and now you want another one. And anyway, he won't ever stay fit. Here we go. Maguire's won it at the end. Harry Maguire. Sir Harry Maguire. Where's Seb? He's in bed. Man United win it at the end. He saved us from extra time. That's got to be worth a new contract in itself. Get in against his old club as well. Harry Maguire stands like me in front of the Stretford end. Happy. And I tell you what, I'm absolutely ecstatic because I do not want extra time at all. And we're in the FA Cup next round. He's happy. Bruno got the assist. Look at it, Bruno. Look at me. I got the assist. Yeah, well done, Bruno. Manchester United are going to win this game. I can't scream and shout happily because I think there's elements of it that have been rather shit. But we have ultimately won the game, and I think nobody wanted extra time. I'm fading. A good header by Maguire, by the way. Strange defending by Leicester, I've got to say. How does a long diagonal like that do that? But I'm just thinking, I've just realised I've got match reaction, player ratings, link in the video description. There we go. I've got to apologise. That's probably one of the most unenthusiastic reactions to a goal I've ever done. And I can't even explain why. I just feel... Maybe it was offside. Somebody just said maybe it's offside. There is no VAR. I tell you what. He might have a point. I never even thought there's no VAR. It was a little bit weird how... It was a little bit weird how that you can just hit a long diagonal and be onside. But it would be very lucky if that was the case. I will wait for the end of the game and then I'm going to have a quick look just to make sure. Garnacho's got man of the match on the telly, which is interesting. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. That is the final whistle. I'm just going to go back to the goal. Here we go. Here we go. Let's have a look. So there it is. My God, he's miles off. He's absolute. Have you seen it? He's fucking miles off. Oh. I don't know how the linesman's not got that, because there's 4 players offside. I mean, I don't know whether you can see Yoro, but Yoro might be offside, and he's the fifth furthest away. I mean, that I've got to say, that is shocking. Shocking. That is miles off. Absolutely miles off. Yeah, it was miles. That's not even close. That's not even close. That is absolutely shocking. Anyway, we've won. We deserve to win. It's probably one of the greatest games I've ever seen, and I haven't got a big list of things that I'm going to have a right old moan of. To be honest, for the first time, I'm actually going to go in on the manager. I think it's about. I think it's deserved. I think we're really lucky to have played Leicester tonight, because we would have got battered by most of the Premier League. I thought we were absolutely shit tonight, and to come off with that and start talking about hard work and resilience and bounce back ability, I genuinely feel quite flat after that game. And I'm normally like, Brentford, it's a win, it's a win. I genuinely feel quite flat about that game tonight. I'm happy that we won, and I'm happy that we're still in the cup, but we are actually getting worse. That's the problem. We're getting worse. Anyway, let's do player ratings. That's going to be very interesting. What you mark the players out. 10, mark about 10, 6 being the average. I'll see you over in the match reaction in a minute. Thanks for watching.